presentation, we'll talk about the economic impact of climate change on homesteading and farming expenses. Climate change significantly impacts the economics of homesteading and farming. As a homesteader myself, I thought it would be important to investigate how climate change is expected to influence the costs associated with crop seeds, water resources, and with raising livestock and poultry. The cost of crop seeds is projected to rise due to climate-related factors. Climate change affects plant growth and yields, forcing the development of new, more resilient seed varieties that can withstand extreme weather like droughts and floods. As regions become climatically unsuitable for current crops, there will be a need to develop and deploy new seed varieties that are adapted to the changing conditions. This development involves significant research and investment in genetic modification and breeding programs to increase seed resilience to extreme weather. The costs associated with these innovations in seed technology will likely be passed on to farmers in the form of higher seed prices. Crop production may even shift geographically due to differing weather patterns. The demand for specific types of seeds will fluctuate, potentially leading to price volatility in the seed market. This dynamic creates a financial burden for farmers who must adapt to new crops and purchase appropriate seeds. This increases their operational costs and affects overall agricultural economics. This map shows the impact of extreme temperatures on agricultural yields for different crops across the United States. It looks at the effect of just one standard deviation increase in extreme degree days, a measure that combines the intensity and duration of extreme temperatures on crop yields. The change in yields is represented in shades ranging from dark brown, showing more than a 50% decrease, to light yellow, indicating a slight increase of up to 10%. Each map corresponds to a different crop, and the response to extreme temperatures varies by crop and location. For example, areas in dark brown on the corn map are those where yields would drop substantially with more extreme temperature days, while lighter areas on the soybean map might see less of a decrease or even a slight increase in yields. Global water infrastructure costs are expected to rise fourfold, up to $150 billion annually from 2017 levels by 2030. Water is a critical resource for homesteading and farming. It is expected to become more expensive as climate change affects water scarcity. Altered precipitation patterns and more frequent droughts reduce surface and groundwater availability. The need for advanced irrigation technology and infrastructure to efficiently manage water supplies also contributes to rising costs. Competition for water resources among agricultural, industrial, and residential users can also lead to higher prices. Rising average temperatures, more extreme heat throughout the year, fewer sufficiently cool days during the winter, and more frequent cold season thaws will likely affect farmers in all regions. Climate change is expected to significantly increase the costs associated with raising poultry and livestock as well. One of the largest expenses in livestock production is feed. Climate change may negatively impact feed prices by reducing crop yields and quality due to altered rainfall patterns, elevated temperatures, and more frequent extreme weather events. These climatic variations can reduce the availability of feed components like corn and soybeans. This can raise costs due to the need and unavailability of the feed. Rising temperatures can also lead to heat stress in animals. This reduces their productivity in terms of growth rate, milk production, and reproduction rates. This calls for additional costs for cooling systems like fans and misters to maintain animal welfare and productivity. Warmer and more humid conditions can also increase the occurrence of diseases and parasites, which can affect animal health and increase veterinary costs. This escalation in disease prevalence requires more intensive health management and possibly increased medication use, further raising operational costs. Research has shown that increased prevalence of diseases and parasites in livestock can also lead to a feedback loop, where the resulting higher methane emissions from these animals further intensifies climate change. Extreme weather events like hurricanes, floods, and droughts can also cause significant damage to farm infrastructure. The costs associated with repairing or replacing buildings, fencing, and other essential infrastructure can be substantial. This presentation examined the increasing costs of agriculture due to climate change, with a focus on the rising expenses associated with crop seeds, water resources, and livestock management. As climate change impacts plant growth and weather patterns, there's a growing need for development and deployment of new, resilient seed varieties capable of withstanding extreme conditions like droughts and floods. Water scarcity worsened by altered precipitation patterns and frequent droughts is driving up costs for advanced irrigation technology and infrastructure. These factors contribute to increased competition for water resources, further inflate prices. Climate change is also driving up costs for livestock and poultry through multiple channels. Altered climatic conditions are affecting feed availability and quality, leading to higher feed costs. Rising temperatures induce heat stress in animals, requiring investments like cooling systems to maintain productivity and animal welfare. Warmer and more humid conditions increase the prevalence of diseases and parasites, escalating veterinary costs and operational expenses. The situation is compounded by extreme weather events such as hurricanes and floods, which can cause extensive damage to infrastructure, resulting in significant repair and replacement costs. Collectively, these factors present substantial financial challenges for farmers. For more information, please visit any of these resources.